Hello traders, this is Chris Morton from binaryoptions.net.au. In this video I'll be basically trialing or trying the 0.5 decimal 60-second strategy. I only recently came across this strategy. It was brought to my attention from an email sent in from one of my members. He says, good day sir, I saw your video on YouTube and I'm very interested in binary option trading. I am new and have never made any real money trading. I would first of all like to ask you, which trading platform do you recommend for beginners like me? Also, do you recommend the 60-second option using the TradeRush platform? And most importantly, have you tried out the 0.5 decimal strategy, which is said to be 100% guaranteed? Thank you. And then he sent me some YouTube links of these videos online, and I went through myself, basically going through the strategy that is explained. And I must admit, I've actually tried this twice, and so far it's worked both times, which is, a bit bizarre, because it's a system that I would never have thought of myself. But there's a few tricks to it, or a few things that aren't really explained in these videos that you sort of don't realize until you start doing it yourself. Okay, so there's like 6 rules to this 60-second strategy. Rule number 1: if the currency pair that you're choosing has a 50-50 popularity, do not trade. So what he means by the popularity is that on brokers that are on the spot option platform like Bank to Binary, TradeRush, they have this index here, which is the Trader's Choice or Popularity Index. And what they're saying is the first step is that you got to see that this is favored slightly in one direction or the other. In this case of the USD Japan, 54% is a call, 46% is a put. So the first step is to go with the one with a higher percentage being a call. If it's 50-50 like this AD USD, you don't trade it. However, I've done a bit of research on this popularity index, and this is only updated every 72 hours. So for me, I find this pretty misleading, and it's only based on the trades made by the members of Bank to Binary, not the whole world. So you've got to take that with a grain of salt. The more I've gone into this, I don't actually think it matters which direction you go. What matters is that you stick to a direction throughout the whole cycle of all the steps. But for argument's sake, we'll do what they suggest, which is the first step is to go in the direction where there's a higher percentage. So for the USD Japan, that's 50%, so we would go that way. Right, we'll go through all the steps first before I go and actually do it. So rule number 2, trading is fast paced. In order to catch the winning trade in the 5-point decimal base with your 5 trades, you have to be quick, which I think, this is very important. You've got to be, as soon as the trade loses, you've got to be quick to put in your next trade with a higher amount. Rule number 3, do not change direction. As I just mentioned before, you've got to keep going the same direction. If a trade comes up with a tie, you should put in the same trade again. Rule number 4, after each winning trade, always check to see if the popularity has changed. This is absolute rubbish. Like I said, the popularity index doesn't change in 72 hours. So once this is saying that it's 54%, it's not going to suddenly change in like the 5 minutes of doing this strategy. It stays the same for the next 72 hours. So I don't know the people who came up with this strategy have realized that, or have ever asked the brokers. But if you actually ask the brokers yourself, if you log in, go to live chat and ask them how long this takes to update, they'll say around about every 2 to 3 days or 72 hours. Rule number 5, they've only tried this system on TradeRush, but basically a lot of the brokers use the same software engine, so you can use like Bank to Binary, TradeRush, Setter Finance, Redwood Options. These are all on the same software engine. They're owned by different companies, but they're on the same software back office. Okay, and then the last step is don't change the plan. So the last rule is just basically advice. It's not actually. So this is actually more of a system than a strategy too. We actually just follow steps. You don't have to basically use any intuition or any feel of the market. It's just basically follow the system and you should win money. It doesn't actually explain the banking or the money management side of it, but when you go through the video, they explain it verbally, which is also probably a bit confusing because you have to sort of watch the video a few times to sort of get a handle of it. So I'm going to do this myself. Okay, so like I said, we'll do a call. So bring up the 60-second option tab. Make sure I've got USD Japan selected here. I have. I'm going to start off with $5, which is the first step. It's going to be an up call, and we'll do a trade. So this is going to be an unedited video. I'm just going to let this roll. So if there's a few dead spots where I don't talk, I'm still here. I just want to show you this system. Basically, whether is it a scam? Does it really work? It's quite interesting. So what basically happens here is if this is a winning trade, we continue to put $5 trades in. Even if we progress through a losing trade and go to the next one, which is $10, and we win that, we go back to $5. You always, every time you do a winning trade, you go back to the beginning of $5. It's only when you go on a streak of losing that your last trade is $100, and that trade is supposed to be 100% guaranteed to win. And I must say, I've tried this twice. Both times I got to the end to put in my $100 trade, and it's won but every time, so it's bizarre. Alright, so that was winning trade. So what you want to do is you want to quickly go in and place another one. This is all about keeping the speed going and following the trend. So right now I'm on, you can see the graph is just going up, so you know that's good. If you just keep, if the graph or the trend keeps going up or down in a strong direction, then of course you're going to keep winning. It's when the swing goes against you and you have to stick with the direction you chose. You're basically catching the market in that 0.5 decimal that last $100 trade is supposed to win. This is the whole idea. So it's slightly a bit over my head. I need to do a bit more research, but the actual system seems to work. Without thinking about what's behind it, it actually seems to work. So again, it looks like we're going to win this trade as well, which is all good. The market's just going up at the moment, so we just continue to win. So I'll get my next trade ready to go. Alright, so that's expiring, and we've won that one. So that next one's gone in. So we've got to sort of wait here till I go on a streak of the losing trades, where I build up my bank to the last trade of $100, which is supposed to be a guaranteed win, which basically covers all your previous losses and your profit. Alright, so this looks like could be a losing trade. In anticipation, the next step when you have a losing trade on the first round is the next trade goes up to $10 and you continue in the same direction you started with, which in this case is an up. And I have my button ready to get this going straight away. As soon as I see this is lost, expiring, as soon as it says lost, alright, let's go. Alright, that next trade's gone in. So if this trade wins, we basically go back and put in a $5 trade again. If it loses, we up the ante and put in a $25 trade. Alright, you'll notice here that there is no $25 presetting. So you've got to put in 2 trades, one of 20 and one of 5, as quickly as you can. Alright, this looks like it's winning. So you can see how this cycle here, this $10, if this wins, it's going to cover my previous loss and obviously leave me with a slight profit. So it looks like it's going to win quite easily. You can see here. I think that the current rate is well above the entry rate. Alright, it's won. Alright, so go back to $5. Trade goes in. So I'll keep doing this until we get to go to do the $100 trade. So we go through the full cycle. So you can see up here, my account balance is, after this last trade, is 2,554. This looks like it's going to win as well. Okay. Looks like it's going to win quite easily. You can see it well over the entry rate. So let's open up another trade at $5, as we didn't lose. So this is the cycle. On every winning trade, you go back to $5. I guess what has occurred to me is that, sure, the market swings quite widely, and there's the popularity index over a day or an hour is going to be pretty wild up and down. But over 3 days, a currency may have a real, I guess, market sentiment that it's more going up overall over the last 3 days. So maybe that's where the popularity index comes in. Alright, so this looks like this is also going to win. So I'm obviously, this is going up. So I'm just riding this trend. Alright, that one's won as well. So we'll go put in another one. When I did it previous 2 times, before doing this recording, I basically went into a losing streak straight away. But when I went to the $100 trade, it won both times. So I bring up my portfolio transaction history after this, and you can sort of see that I'm not sort of lying or making up numbers or editing anything. It's just, yeah, it seems to work. But let's see, I've yet to put in a $100 trade and it's actually lost. They say that it can lose if you take too long doing it. You've missed the chance. So you've got to be really quick to enter in the counter trade on a losing after the previous trade loses. So it looks like this one's going to win as well. All right. See, my bank is growing now, 2564. Alright, looks like this might be a loss. I think it's going to be quite well under, my current rate's well under that entry rate. So I'm going to put in $10 investment. As soon as I see it's lost, open trade. Alright, so that's now gone in. So, like last time when this happens, my $10 trade won, so I went back to $5. But if it's going to lose, I've got to do a counter trade of $25, which would be one of 20 and one quickly of $5. And if that one loses, then we do our $100 trade, which is guaranteed to win, apparently, based on these other strategies on these videos here. Okay. So you can sort of prepare yourself. You can see here my current rate is 10 pips under the entry rate, so it looks like this is going to be a loss. So we'll prepare ourselves to do these quick trades. You can see the market's swung back, even though I'm pushing to do an up call. As soon as I see that's lost, alright, let's put in a $20 trade. Go up here, quickly put in my $5 trade, click up, open trade. One thing you got to watch here is not to do too many double clicks or be too pushy on the buttons, because sometimes you can sort of freeze their application, and that that obviously speed is everything here. And if there's any delay, you're basically going to break the cycle, and you should scrap it and start again. That was quite smooth then. So you can see here the 20 and the 5. There's not much difference in the time lag. Looks like these are both just slightly losing. Point on two pips out. Now a lot longer, so it looks like a $100 trade is going to be up. So in preparation. So that's a loss. As soon as that first one says loss, alright, let's go. Alright, so this is it. This is the big day. This is supposed to be guaranteed to go green and win. I've seen it on other videos, and this countdown time has gone into like the last 5 seconds, and suddenly it's gone green. In my particular ones, sort of around about the 20-second mark, and the other was like the 40-second mark. It stayed green, so this is going to be interesting to see how this works, because we're well under the pips here. Oh, here we go. Look at it. Look at it. It's racing back. Got to get 605. Another. Oh no, it's dropped down again. I think this is going to win. This would be a loss. So this system hasn't worked in this particular case. Well, that's actually lost. So you can judge for yourself whether this is a good system or not. That's the first time that's lost for me, and I've done this 3 times. That's supposed to be 100% guaranteed to work. So I'll leave this system in your hands to see if it's for you. Let's go to my portfolio. I'm totally not endorsing this system either way. I'm happy to be proved wrong if I had done something out of cycle. But you can see here on that last little run I did, where I started with 5 loss, did 10 loss, did 20 loss, did 25, lost both, and then 100. This is supposed to always win this counter trade. I'll go on to the next page to bring up where I did win. So you see $100 here. Alright, so I did 5, lost, did 10, lost, did 25, the majority here 20, lost. So I did my 100 and I won. So that was one of them there. And I think the other one I did it on Setter Finance, and it won as well. So I don't know, like maybe I would maybe suggest doing a bit of paper trading on a demo account to see if you can get this to work. Like, I guess if this was to work 70% of the time, that's going to be enough to be profitable. I haven't run the numbers myself, but there you go. Then 3 times that I've done it, twice only it worked, and once it lost, which you saw just then. Alright guys, so I'm interested if you give this a go, to give me an email yourself and see if it's for you. Until next time, may all your trades be profitable.